Nice big shake out here. The Dow's down 4%. Bank stocks down 4.5%. And Morgan Stanley tells clients to do shorts on 3-hour currencies. Facebook's down 3.9%. Microsoft 3.6%. Small caps are down 4.7%. Maybe there was ETFs down 1%. Philly's down 2.7%. As a biotech's down 4.6%. China ETF down 6%. Semi's down 4%. Picking next on the high plus 722 Amy's on the Dixie's brand gains 9.2%. Look at the SP futures, January 50.28 to 50.35. Futures close starting at about 6:45. And this comes from multiple Twitter sources. The U.S. says the assignment of the intervention is Amazon breaking 5%. Also, futures close losses for 2%. SP futures trend losses for 1.7%. Another name in the green in video. Video was down 8%. Video SP futures projected at that 50.27 level.
And it was funny the first time you said it. It's still funny. I'm thinking for my we'll sit at a separate table. Go to Fabian's place. I could figure it out. I'll work it out. Do like a Jim Cox trip where we get coffee.
part of the workforce, and so I think we're trying to on for that. And it's just figuring out how to get them out here, right? Because we're user oriented, like you have to be bust out, no one else to be on that side, and so it's just okay. I see if you go through, you get in the door. We're gonna get started. We're going to. So it's your schedule.
So I get my audio working.
I just feel very short standing back here. So, do you even need this microphone on? No, we'll turn it on. And you have a white balance. You don't need a white balance. And this, you can hear me okay? You're good? She's going to speak too. She'll be speaking. We're tag teaming. Okay. All right. So my name is Lisa Farbstein, Lisa Farbstein. I'm a spokesperson with the Transportation Security Administration. And we're here today to talk about the upcoming Real ID deadline. And before that, I just want to thank the Department of Motor Vehicles for Virginia for being here to the partnership. We're working together to get as many people as possible signed up and get that Real ID. And so we're excited about being here today with them. So I'm going to start with a little story. The story begins on September 11th, 2001. 19 hijackers boarded planes, 19 individuals boarded planes that they eventually hijacked, crashing them into the Pentagon, a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and of course, the World Trade Center in New York City. About 3,000 people died as a result of those hijackings, and I can tell you, not a single one of those hijackers had a valid form of ID. After that incident, President Bush called together a commission, the 9/11 Commission, to look into the happenings on that day and make recommendations. One of the recommendations was to enhance the form of identification that people use when they are coming through security checkpoints. Congress then passed the Real ID Act of 2005, 20 years ago. It took states many years to be able to be compliant with the security regulations involved in making those Real ID licenses, making them compliant with the regulations so that they could all have enhanced security features in the licenses, and so that the DMVs could figure out a way that they could individually store the data that people were required to bring to the DMVs to get their Real ID licenses. Then shortly before the pandemic, we were supposed to start enforcing Real ID. Of course, then there's the pandemic. And so we delayed that until after the pandemic. And that time for enforcement is exactly 1 month away. 1 month away. So secure driver's licenses and identification documents are a vital component of our national security framework. Real ID is a coordinated effort by the federal government to improve the reliability and accuracy of driver's licenses and as well identification cards. The improvements are intended to inhibit terrorists' ability to evade detection by using fraudulent identification, as what happened on 9/11. The Department of Homeland Security and the Transportation Security Administration are both committed to enforcing the Real ID Act. Therefore, beginning 1 month from today, all airline passengers aged 18 and over, including TSA PreCheck members, must present a state-issued Real ID credential or an alternative acceptable form of identification, the most common being a passport, at our security checkpoints. Now, our website, tsa.gov, has a whole list of other acceptable forms of identification that you can go to and you can check to see if you have an alternative acceptable form if you do not have your Real ID. Of course, again, you keep that Real ID driver's license in your wallet so you have it at all times. And it's not always intuitive that, maybe you're flying from Washington, D.C., maybe you're flying from Richmond, Virginia to another domestic airport, and, you don't have your Real ID license. You have to bring something else, such as your passport. You don't typically have your passport in your wallet. So it's something else you're going to have to think about before you fly. So how do you get your Real ID? Virginia residents have the option of getting a Real ID license, or they can get a standard license that is not Real ID compliant. And we'll hear more about that in a bit. I want to stress that, again, we will be beginning enforcement of Real ID in a way that that considers the potential impact to travelers and the impact to airports during implementation. Why? Because we know that long lines and delays not only impact airline schedules and increase cancellations, and of course are inconvenient to travelers, but they do that could also increase possible security risks and escalate any possible physical and verbal abuse of our TSA officers. What's important to be aware of is that travelers traveling without a Real ID, compliant ID, or another acceptable form of identification should be prepared to experience some delay at the TSA security checkpoints that will potentially impact their travel. Bottom line is that it's best to get your Real ID sooner rather than later so you don't risk missing your flight. I want to go back and just hit again on some of the common alternative forms of identification that you can use if you don't have a Real ID license. That includes passports, a global entry card, or any other Department of Homeland Security trusted traveler program identification, such as Nexus, Sentry, and FAST, a permanent resident card, a foreign government issued passport, among others. Again, our website, tsa.gov, lists the other acceptable forms of identification you can use at the checkpoint. We anticipate a significant number of travelers will be applying for Real ID as this deadline is fast approaching. We are really down to the wire with 1 month left to go. And you know what? Travel like a pro. By that, I mean, get your Real ID and you'll be traveling like a pro. And it'll save you lots of time and hassle. This is why we encourage everyone who travels or anticipates traveling after May 7th of this year to get their Real ID now. To wrap up, basically, Real ID is intended to improve the reliability and accuracy of driver's licenses and identification cards while inhibiting the ability of those who want to cause harm or want to defraud the system from being able to do so. The enforcement date, again, May 7th, mark that in your calendar. Failure to comply will result in delays and additional screening, which could lead passengers to miss their flights. Any additional information will be posted on our website at www.tsa.gov. I've got my Real ID. Do you? All right. So now we're going to have Camila Barco from the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles, who will also give some remarks. All yours.
All right, well, thank you, Lisa, for those details about Real ID. I'm Camila Barco, the Public Relations and Media Liaison at the Department of Motor Vehicles. First, I want to thank TSA and Washington Dulles Airport for letting us talk about Real ID here at Dulles Airport. And it's fitting that we're here since a lot of passengers in the coming months will be traveling. Some will be traveling internationally, others will be traveling domestically. For those planning a domestic flight this summer, whether they're going to Arizona, New York, California, or anywhere in the US, you will need a Real ID compliance driver's license, or like Lisa said, another federally accepted document like a US passport to board a flight starting May 7, 2025. At the Virginia DMV, we've been working hard to make sure Virginians who are looking to get a Real ID can get one. Our latest numbers as of March of 2025 show that we have issued more than 4.1 million Virginia Real IDs since October of 2018, and that accounts for 59% of all active licenses and IDs statewide. In March of 2025, we issued more than 104,000 Virginia Real IDs. To meet the growing demand, we've expanded our resources and have been offering additional opportunities for those who are looking to get a Real ID. For example, we've hosted what we call Real ID appointment-only events, where we extend our Saturday hours at certain customer service centers. We've hosted them at Tyson's Corner, Hampton, and Virginia Beach customer service centers. This Saturday, we'll be hosting another Real ID appointment-only event at their Chesterfield DMV from 2 to 6 p.m. And as of this morning, there are appointments available for that event. Our DMV Connect service team, they're our mobile service team. They have been traveling to several of our customer service centers to also issue Real IDs. They've traveled to Richmond Central, Virginia Beach, and Arlington customer service centers. DMV will continue deploying its DMV Connect service team. Our agency has 76 customer service centers across the state. Appointment availability depends on the location, but appointments are available for those who are looking to get a Real ID. While the demand for Real IDs has been high, our team has been providing great service. In March of 2025, the statewide average wait time was 16.2 minutes. So if you plan to go to the DMV to get a Real ID, there's a few things to know. Start your application online. I recently got my Virginia Real ID about 2 months ago, and I started the application online, which was very helpful, as the application will walk you through what documents you need to have in hand before you go to the DMV. Also, if your name is not the same on your birth certificate, please pay careful attention to the original documents required to prove your legal name change. Also, schedule an appointment for faster service. Those who had an appointment, the average wait time was 8.4 minutes. And also remember the cost. There is a one-time $10 fee for a Real ID, in addition to the cost of a driver's license or ID that you're looking for. Real ID is a choice in Virginia, and we have a page on our website dedicated to Real ID where you can find information and also learn whether a Real ID is the right choice for you. We encourage our customers to plan ahead, and whether you're looking to get a real ID this month, May, June, July, the Virginia DMV will continue to serve you. Thank you. Oh, I have a done.
This is a special announcement for security reasons. Please keep your luggage and all packages when seated on the line until they are checked. Unattended baggage will be removed immediately for inspection and any damage will be destroyed. For security reasons, do not accept packages or bags that do not belong to you. Esta es una anuncio especial. Por razones de seguridad, por favor mantenga su espacio y todos sus paquetes con usted en todo momento hasta que los mismos se despachen. El equipaje que está vendido se removerá inmediatamente para su inspección y se lo puede dañar o destruir. Por razones de seguridad, no acepte paquetes o bolsos que no le pertenezcan a usted.
You want somebody to report to it? She's got some great nails.
Oh, yeah. I have to do
We thought we'd check that off.
And you have a white balance. You don't need a white balance. And this, you can hear me okay? You're good?
Are you good?
She's going to speak too.
I thought you were trying to get something in.
She'll be speaking. We're tag teaming. Okay. All right. So my name is Lisa Farbstein, Lisa Farbstein. I'm a spokesperson with the Transportation Security Administration. And we're here today to talk about the upcoming Real ID deadline. And before that, I just want to thank the Department of Motor Vehicles for Virginia for being here. It's a good partnership. We're working together to get as many people as possible signed up and get that Real ID. And so we're excited about being here today with them. So I'm going to start with a little story. The story begins on September 11th, 2001. 19 hijackers boarded planes, 19 individuals boarded planes that they eventually hijacked, crashing them into the Pentagon, a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and of course, the World Trade Center in New York City. About 3,000 people died as a result of those hijackings, and I can tell you not a single one of those hijackers had a valid form of ID.